Welcome from Agent to Author, a presentation that points out the advantages to you as a real estate broker to write a book to generate additional revenue. First, I would like to tell you about my journey from writer to ghostwriter. Since I was 10, I have always considered myself to be a writer, since my first few creative writing assignments in the 6th grade. Since then, I have written poetry, memoirs, creative nonfiction, and essays. For my career, I worked at large companies in their information technology departments for several decades. My father had a data processing service bureau when I was growing up, and that's how I got my start, my first job at Allstate. I started as a computer programmer and ended my IT career 40 years later as a delivery project manager and program manager of complex software systems. At that time, I was also very involved in the Project Management Institute, which is a think tank for global leaders to establish project and program management standards. I attained many certifications, including my PMP and PGMP, as well as achieved my MS and MBA degrees. I wrote white papers for my company and spoke at conferences. In 2010, I pivoted to work with my son and other partners to establish and grow a boutique real estate brokerage in Lakeview, Illinois, right down the street from Wrigley Field. By then, I had been involved in a few family businesses related to real estate development. I love working with clients, I found out. I love helping them individually achieve their goals, and I see many parallels to what I do now as a ghostwriter for entrepreneurs. I achieved my brokers and my managing broker license and became a designated managing broker of the company for 6 years. I also love networking and talking to people, and creating networks that benefit my clients. I was very active in the Women's Council of Realtors and was president of my local and state networks. In the next decade, which brings me to you today, I decided to be a ghostwriter for entrepreneurs, using my writing and business skills to help entrepreneurs tell their business legacy stories or write books to generate revenue. I was inspired in part by a memoir that my great-grandfather wrote about starting a wool and fur trading business in Dodge City in the Wild West. I have treasured that memoir my whole life. I spent a year or so developing my network, similar to what we do in real estate. Instead of lenders and inspectors and attorneys, it's colleagues, mentors, publishers, editors, cover design experts, to name a few. Maybe you notice that I have the same writing desk at 70 as I did when I was 3 years old. I love that continuity and the thread of my story, and I would be honored to help you tell your story. Writing a book is not just about the book itself. It's about what the book can do for you. Grow your brand, expand your influence, or increase your revenue. Why would you author a book? You would want to increase revenue, perhaps, establish your authority as an expert, generate leads, of course, diversify income streams, or build trust. And what motivation might you have to add author to your brand? What is your area that you want to grow in? You would want to grow your brand recognition, expand your client base, host real estate market events, impart industry knowledge, become an industry leader, pivot and explore new opportunity, write a local community history, and tell your brokerage stories. All of these areas, if you plan your book purposely and think of your ROI, are areas where you can write a book to help generate income. First is brand recognition, and unlock the power of authorship to grow your brand and increase your brand recognition. Growing a brand will help you establish credibility and authority in your niche or market with insights from your book. A book can be a tool for increasing your brand's recognition among potential clients. You can stand out in a crowd by marketing and showcasing your expertise and your unique perspective on your published work. And use your book to demonstrate your commitment to excellence and knowledge, fostering client trust and long-term loyalty. Expand your client base. You might be in a geographic area where you have most of your clients coming from local local people from where you live. But if you can showcase your expertise in a certain niche, millennials or baby boomers who are downsizing or investors, uh, this book can be used to expand your geographical reach. If you are out there trying to create your own brand by using a book, what are some things you can do? Well, you can host market insight events in person or on Zoom. You can demonstrate your expertise through presentations and engaging in Q&A. You can offer a chapter of your book at say, open houses and other events where buyers come in who are unrepresented. You can leverage events to build credibility and attract clients. You can record your events and reuse the content for your social media and podcasts and other areas where you participate. You can collaborate with a local expert like a lender and hold events, educational events, and you can promote events through social media and local advertising. So having a book gives you that extra credibility to embark on any of these activities. You might want to impart industry knowledge, share your industry expertise by offering mentorship programs or workshops or coaching sessions to help colleagues enhance their skills and better serve clients. You might want to leverage your book's content to secure speaking engagements at real estate conferences, association meetings, and leadership groups. You might want to use your book as a platform to establish yourself as an industry thought leader, providing insights and perspectives on current economic, legal, and ethical concerns affecting the real estate community. Or you might want to position yourself as a go-to media expert, offering interviews, accepting speaking engagements, and sharing your knowledge on high-profile podcasts and industry publications. And finally, you might want to initiate and moderate discussions among your peers regarding the state of the real estate industry, addressing challenges, and exploring solutions. So those are some of the things that we just talked about to impart industry knowledge. Becoming an industry leader is a different goal than branding yourself as an industry expert and trying to engage a certain area within the industry. If you want to become an industry leader, you might position yourself as the go-to media expert by giving interviews, accepting speaking engagements, and sharing your knowledge on high-profile podcasts. You can use your book as a platform to facilitate discussions among peers regarding the state of the real estate industry, market trends, and ethical concerns. Provide your unique perspective on current economic, legal, and ethical trends impacting the real estate industry throughout your book. Advocate for the industry by offering advice on navigating challenges and market dynamics shaping public discourse and influencing policymakers. Impart industry knowledge by mentoring in the real estate community, helping colleagues enhance their skills and better serve clients. You might want to pivot and explore new opportunities. Um, you might want to be an entrepreneur in adjacent industries such as property management. You might have political ambitions within a certain leadership group or within the government. You could have ambitions to use your expertise to consult or have advisory services. And you might enjoy speaking and imparting your knowledge in front of your colleagues or at industry events. And having a book gives you that extra uh, credibility and opens up possible teaching opportunities. Write a local community history. So many of us live in areas that we have so much respect for, so much ties to, whether we've lived there a decade or 6 decades. So by writing a local community history, that establishes you as authority and trustworthy within that community. You can research the local history. You can highlight hidden neighborhood gems, past and present. You can capture residents' stories. You can showcase uh, the pride that people have in their community and explain why. And you are telling the story and fostering these emotional connections with that once again establishes you as a trusted authority in this particular neighborhood, which should generate clients over the long term. Uh, why would a broker owner decide to author a book? Um, well, I think of my own company, B Realty. It would establish brand recognition. We could showcase our unique selling propositions and how we uniquely serve clients. We can talk about the culture. We can talk about industry leadership, where we've been trailblazers, and how we try to build our culture to serve our clients. And by authoring a book and distributing the book, it once again establishes us as a brand within our community and our larger metropolitan community. There are so many great brokerages out there that have fabulous stories to tell, and there are very good reasons to write the company history, um, to establish the brand and generate a larger client base. So we've gone over 8 reasons. There's probably a lot more why writing a book can help you generate additional income. And this is a business proposition. You have time, you have money, you have your goals. You're developing a business case for your strategy of writing a book. So things that you must consider are target audience. Who is your ideal reader? When I work with clients, we spend a lot of time on defining the ideal reader. Who is going to care about the book? Who's going to read the book? And what are they going to do? And how does that improve your outcome of what you're hoping to achieve by writing a book? Sometimes people come to me and want to write a memoir about a particular compelling time in their life, and where it might be of interest to everyone, it is far better to have a very specific reader in mind. That is sort of our North Star as we continue writing the book. So it's best to narrow it down to a specific avatar, so to speak. Who are you sitting next to, telling the story? Is it your younger self? That's okay. Is it a certain type of customer? Whatever. You have to give that a lot of thought. Uh, what is your area of expertise? What are you bringing to the table? What do you want to tell people about that you know about? And what is your business goal? Again, what do you hope to achieve by writing a book? And how will you achieve that goal? That's something to consider. The content is very important. When I work with my clients, we spend a lot of time on developing a very comprehensive outline, and that is what we use for interviews, to develop the first and second draft, and then turn it over for editing and publishing. How will you market your book? Are you going to speak at conferences and pass out your book? Are you going to speak at local community events? Are you going to have open houses covering a certain topic of real estate? Are you going to ask your friends and family to push it out on social media? Do you have a social media platform? All those things. And how are you measuring success? Are you measuring it by money? Are you measuring it by client base? Are you measuring it by goodwill? Are you measuring it by reputation? There are many things to consider that you must consider when you sit down to consider if you're going to write a book. And then the tips. What should you think about as you're writing your book? And one of the main things I think you should think about is reuse, is structuring your book so it's more in components, so a reader can come to the book and look for specific information, such as if you're an expert at flipping houses, where they might not need to know about financing, might need to know about how's the best way to find contractors, or how to best analyze the market in 6 or 8 months. So you can have a book that gives a total picture, but breaking it down into component parts allows the reader more flexibility in reading the book, coming away with what they want out of the book, and it also allows you to use those components for podcasts, for social media posts, for videos. So it's a very smart thing to do. So let's just take a few of our examples. If you want to increase brand recognition, your target audience might be local sellers and buyers. Your expertise might be the luxury market, and your goal might be to be top of mind in the area for buyers and sellers. In your local luxury market, you might want a few referrals or 2 more additional transactions a year. It's up to you to develop your own business case, what you're looking for to get out of the book. What's your strategy? Are you going to showcase knowledge of the market, tell stories, interview experts, structure the book for reuse? Content should be backed up by facts and data about the market, your history of serving the market, expertise, trends, and stories. Whatever you want to include, or you and your ghostwriter decide is good to include in your book. Marketing, are you going to talk at libraries, chambers of commerce, business associations, social media? How are you going to market your book? And what is your ROI? Once again, is it brand awareness, customer engagement, increased sales, and so forth? And once again, think of reuse for blog posts and social media posts, and even distributing your book at open houses. Another business case might be you want to increase your speaking opportunities. So your target audience, I don't know, it could be local, state, and national real estate associations, networking groups, local community events, webinars, and online workshops. Your expertise might be in negotiations, or ethics, or market trends, or economic and legal trends. Your goal would be to be top of mind for speaking engagement opportunities, to improve your brand awareness, to make yourself known. Your strategy might be to establish credentials, tell stories, focus on the areas of interest to your audience, enhance your public speaking skills. Your content might showcase your legal expertise, your market expertise, previous engagements, testimonials, stories, case studies, and credentials. You would decide how to best format your book to achieve your goals. And once again, marketing, you have to consider how you're going to market the book, what your specific ROI is, and tips, once again, which I consider the main tip to be consider reuse. Business case 3, you might want to pivot. You might want to pivot to politics, and your target audience would be then constituents, community leaders, special interest groups, party officials. Your expertise should be communication, knowledge of government, planning. If you want to pivot to becoming a property manager, you might need knowledge of property laws and leadership. Your goal would be to add a revenue stream or to give back to your industry. You have to determine what your goal is. Your strategy would be public speaking, policy analysis, lobbying, negotiation, advocacy, and regulations. Your content would be identify core values, choose the right channels. Your personal story is very important. The purpose of the book, the key issues, and so forth. Once again, marketing. How are you going to tailor your message? Are you going to have a teaser campaign? Are you going to attend industry association meetings? How are you planning to market the book so that you achieve the goal you want by writing the book? Once again, your ROI might be brand awareness, and customer loyalty, market differentiation, a positive impact on your constituents. And your tips, once again, my main tip to you is consider reuse of your content. So there's really four foundations as I think of it to writing your book, and we touched on these. Know your audience, that's first. Who is your ideal reader? Um, Write for that person and use that as a guide throughout writing your book. Like I said, it's very possible your book might get out there and appeal to people you didn't think might be interested in your book. The information might be so universal and applicable to other areas. But while you're writing your book, you should think specifically of who are you writing the book to and for. Once again, reuse is very important. I think I've covered that, but consider the versatility of your book, how you're going to reuse the content, and the currency of it. Meaning how current is it? How far do you want to go into like interest rates might be an example. Well, those can change in 2 years, so you might want to make it more of generic statements so that your book is out there for longer and is relevant for longer. Um, Invest in the effort to determine your ROI and your business strategy. Consider the book's lifetime value, as we just talked about, as an asset to your business. A well-written book can continue to generate leads for a very long time. So you want to really think about that you want to write a book, who's your target audience, and what exactly is your business case, why you're writing that book. And I think very importantly, if not most importantly, is to tell stories so people can relate to you. Tell your story, tell stories of experts, and interview them in the area that you're writing about. Tell the story of your brokerage. Tell the story of your neighborhood. Stories are very important, and they really help people relate to what you are telling them. So the path to writing your book is, once again, identify your target audience and ideal reader, develop a compelling book concept and outline. We spend a long time outlining the book, and it's broken down into main points and subpoints, and then kind of think about what sort of counterpoints there might be to your subpoints. Like if you're writing a book about weight loss and drink lots of water, and there might be people out there for whom that doesn't work. What can you say about that to kind of address those concerns in advance? Those are all things that you should think about. So you have your main points, your subpoints, and your stories, and then write from the outline, but it's a very detailed outline. Actually, each point or subpoint can be a blog post. So kind of think of it in terms of that. So you write the book, write a first draft, write a second draft. First draft is very ugly and it goes out. You can send it out to your friends and family for feedback. You don't want to do that after your second draft. You want to have a second draft more or less complete. Certainly not publishable, because to be professional, you have to have it edited. There's developmental editing, which an editor will edit the flow, and copywriting and line editing, where the tense and the words flow together and the grammar is correct, and then proofreading, a final proofreading, and then you want to have it formatted. So those are all activities that should go into writing a book and publishing it. You have to think of your cover design and your ISBN number, copyright, and all that. It sounds daunting the first time you hear about it, but if you do it step by step, just like with anything else, you'll certainly get to that finish line. And then determine whether you want to publish, how you want to publish. Self-publish, which has opened up so many avenues for people to get their books out there. There's hybrid publishing, which I could explain in detail, or more detail, if you want to talk to me about that. Traditional publishing, which is unlikely for most unknown authors. It's not an avenue that many people would pursue, because the idea here is that by writing a book is the value. You're going to get money by writing the book that's going to add to your business, add to your clientele. It's not the sales of the book that is going to generate revenue for you. But people have been so successful when they bring their expertise to the table and let their their target audience know that they get more consulting, they get more speaking gigs, and they achieve their goals through revenue into their company. So the path to publishing your book, once again, you identify your target audience, you develop a compelling book concept and outline. You consider whether you want self-publishing, hybrid publishing, or traditional publishing. Hybrid publishing really gives you sort of a cafeteria style approach. There's many hybrid publishers out there, so depending on if your manuscript's accepted, depending on what level of editing you might want from them, or marketing or promotion, you pay according to what activities or what you're signing up for with the hybrid publisher. So a lot of people do go the self-publishing route, but hybrid publishing does get your book out there in more channels, more distribution. You want to craft or understand your marketing plan and who's going to be on your team and distribution plan. You want to leverage your book to enhance your brand, to get new clients, and monitor the performance and pivot. It might be more promotion, it might be more podcasts, it might be more posts for you on social media. You just have to kind of track the results according to the results you expected and pivot if you're not achieving them. So the very, very first steps are to determine your audience, high-level message and goals. That's your first step. Set your ROI targets and strategy for achievement. Why are you writing the book? And continue running your business, achieving your goals as they stand now. Embrace your vision. You can talk to a ghostwriter or a book coach to determine how they can help. Once again, it's a balance of time. Can you take 100 hours out of your business to write your book, or can you spend 15 hours with a ghostwriter going through all the interview process and let them do the heavy lifting? Those choices are just things that you have to consider. Enjoy the return on investment from writing and publishing your book, your broader audience, your increased reach, more robust networks, plan for reuse, you're building your platforms, and so it's a small investment in time for desired results, or it can be. So the recap is we talked about why you would want to write a book, your motivation for writing a book, illustrate the business cases. We use 3 different business cases to kind of illustrate the approach you might take or things you might think about. The foundation, the 4 foundations of writing a book, I think. Your very first steps, what is your return on investment? Steps to writing a book, steps to publishing a book, and your ROI recap. So you can write or hire a ghostwriter or a book coach. Writing a book will not only build your brand and establish you as an expert in your field, but it will also differentiate you from your competitor and create new revenue streams, which is the point. So, as I said, collaborate with an expert. I'm happy to talk to you, to point you in any directions you might want. I do have 12 years of experience in the real estate industry, and I am taking my own advice. I am writing a book, so you want to write a book, what's next, which should be published next year, along with a few books that I'm working with my clients, working on with my clients. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure meeting you. I wish you all well in your careers.